the first impression that the Rift Valley people have received is that the BBI is basically supposed to stop Ruto from ascending to power into State House. And given that currently he is the kingpin of the Rift Valley, you know, they view BBI as an enemy of the people. So it is now therefore very difficult somehow to sell it in Rift Valley, despite the fact that there is Gideon Moi coming from the same area. You know, Ruto has built his political career, has made Rift Valley his stronghold because he's been there for quite some time, for a while. And therefore, also being him being the second in command, actually, is now the kingpin. He's the second, the most powerful person in this country after the president. And therefore, having sold the narrative of BBI being a tool to stop him from ascending into power, and the Rift Valley people also see him as closer to that power, then it becomes a bit hot to sell the BBI narrative in the Rift Valley. And I think Stano is right to have pointed it out in that manner. But things might change. Okay. Things might change, given that when people now get educated, when people get told the truth about the BBI, they will come to realize and maybe embrace the BBI. You may wonder why the rush, for example, of passing the BBI in Baringo. Some of them were claiming that, you know, we don't want to take longer because some of us might be influenced to vote otherwise, which means that they already had a predetermined outcome on the BBI. But being that the matter is in court, we wait and see as to whether maybe some of them will be persuaded to vote otherwise when the time comes. I think the speaker in this county took sides. I watched him speak in a certain program, and I didn't see him as a person who took a neutral ground. He had actually taken sides, and he was also claiming that there were people outside the parliament, the county assembly, chanting that, you know, we do not pass BBI, we do not want BBI. And we've known certain people to do that kind of mobilization, whereby people are paid a certain amount of money, they go to a certain place to make noise and cause chaos. And it could have happened, even though they were persuaded, the members of the county assembly were persuaded to vote in a certain way. It is also important to point out that our county assemblies and even the National Assembly are supposed to be independent institutions, which are not supposed to be influenced by the outside forces. They are supposed to vote in the best interest of the people and not based on a certain individual's perspective.
But mentioning the interest of the people, which is very key here, because it's very pivotal and significant. And you said there might have been outside influence and that the speaker was not a fair referee. Yeah. But 30 MCAs voted no.
Up to that point, we are not very sure whether really that happened, because that is a story that we are told.
I hosted an MCA from Baringo County yesterday here. He said
it depends
that we have
which
had
side
discussion and that our people told us we are not getting extra constituency. So what's the benefit of passing the BBI? I mean, they had the direct command from the people who have given them their mandate through Article 1 and given their sovereignty to them to represent them. And they said no in 30. Only 5 had said yes.
Ayub, there is a question as to whether really even public participation took place in that county.
And therefore, did public participation took place in Homa Bay, Kisumu, and Siaya?
Yes, it did.
Can we establish that authentically?
You see now what we know from the outlook on as observers is that public participation did happen in those countries, and nobody has come out to say that public participation did not happen. If there was anybody that had such claim, they would have presented that claim. So therefore, we take it as the gospel truth. That
but isn't it also that the politics might have played here, that in the case of Baringo, the petition might have been prompted by the KANU Jubilee rivalry and the Ruto Gideon factor that has played out?
That one is also at play. We cannot deny that. That is also at play. And also, you know, depending on the person that you will interact with, If you interact with a KANU person, they'll tell you that this one did not happen. And if you interact with a pro-Ruto person, they will tell you that actually public participation did happen. So then it is within the court's powers now to tell us whether indeed the issues that have been brought before the court really are they of substance.
Okay.
And from there now we will be able to know.